So best young player was Connor Blatt, and of course Rule Moores was the coach. But this Bamberg team, I suppose we always say this, if you can win your last game at a tournament, you're always going to feel better going home on the back of a win. And also there's an issue of prize money at stake. So they've got all the incentive in the world to come out and put in a strong performance today.
And I think, Jeff, we mentioned in the semi-final that Bamberg want to keep the game loose, want to play up-tempo, want to play transition basketball. So does Antwerp. So, like, in terms of the styles of the game, both teams want to get loose and run the floor. The way they've beaten this Antwerp team in the regular season was just they out-athleted them on the inside. Even though Bacco had a lot of points, they had 45 free-throw attempts across both games, and they were just so difficult to contain. And that's really where I think Antwerp have got to do a job. They're going to get introduced to the crowd here. What a performance by the crowd, because the gym is pretty near full for this third-place game. So the home fans have come out again to support their team.
Well, David Jasinski, Paris Lee coming out. Obviously, both of those key players. It remains to be seen how many of these Antwerp players will be around next year, just such as the nature of European basketball. And a lot of them, I'm sure, have raised eyebrows how well they played under Coach Moores.
Well, Paris League made the second team in the All-Star sort of lineups. And if there's anyone that's really generated a lot of attention across the basketball community in Europe, it's been Paris League. Because not only has he played for himself in terms of the way he produces points, he makes the guys around him better. And he wants to play with a team, and that's just worth its weight in gold for a coach. And Coach Moores, Coach of the Year, as you say, has found the right mix and the right chemistry to let him flourish.
Well, you talked about that star lineup, second best team, and there's also Colton Iverson, Amat Mbai. We'll see them play in the final tonight for Tenerife and Virtus, respectively. James Feldine, Ovi Soko, who you know very well, and of course Paris Lee. So the teams shaking hands, about 5.5 minutes away from the tip. This is the third Basketball Champions League Final for the Beer Star Tenerife, winning the first one. And then last year it was Ike Athens in Greece. And here are the gentlemen that have the honor of doing this game. Alexander Glizic in the middle, Sergei Zashuk from Ukraine on the left, and Yener Yilmaz from Turkey on the right. And we'll also get a look at the starting fives for both teams, and we're a little bit surprised, I think, that we had the very talented, super talented 21-year-old Luis Alindi in the starting lineup. It'll be interesting to see if he's out there this time, but for Telenet Giants, it's the same as before.
They have a way of playing with a rotation, and as we said earlier on, the Bacco foul trouble early broke that whole rotation thing. That's a thing that Raul Moores is going to make sure. You would hope that he doesn't have to make those types of reactions, because he had inside combinations that he hardly uses because of the Bacco foul trouble in the first half.
Now, he's probably not thinking about it right now, Moores, as you saw him smiling on the bench. But he has to be pleased with that Coach of the Year award. Tyrese Rice, Daniel Schmidt's in the starting.
Wow, yeah.
Alindi, Cliff Alexander, and Patrick Heckman.
Well, Schmidt takes the place of Nikos Lysis, so you're taking away your most experienced floor leader type role, and Daniel Schmidt, who was no part of the game in the semi-final. So it's interesting to see what the thinking of as Coach Borrego, who's also, you've got to say, done a great job since he took over the coaching duties at Bamberg, and they've had a great season.
There they are, Borrego and Moores shaking hands before the game. Just 34 years of age. He's done exceptionally well, but I think Djordjevic showed his experience perhaps more the other day, winning that game for Segafredo Virtus Bologna. And the good thing for really is these referees have one last pep talk. The good thing for both of these teams actually is that they've each won their respective cup competitions, so they know they're going to finish the season with a trophy, and of course each is still in the hunt for the league title, and they would like to go back into the league title races on the back of a third-place finish.
And there's Van Winnen shot the best game he had in the Basketball Champions League was the second game between these two teams. He led the team in scoring and efficiency, and you're waiting for him to break out. You're waiting for him to deliver on some of the potential he has shown in his development through, and they need the third scorer. In both games in the regular season where they lost to Bamberg, they only had the 2 scorers. They need someone else to contribute. And they had the same problem in the semi-final. They came up short with that to contribute. It was Sanders who didn't show up for them in the semi-final. So they're going to want to go out. They've done a great job at hosting this event. What a way to really sign off for a weekend for them by winning in front of the home fans. But, you know, I just don't, Jeff, I think, you know, Rice always is going to come to play. There are guys on that Bamberg team, as you said, like Rubit in particular, who came in, really needed to perform, who just didn't show up. But some of these guys are going to almost try and recover their reputations. This is a big stage. Sometimes people don't like third, fourth games. There's some prize money, so there's a reality to it. And some people have got to play to restore some confidence.
And I'll also remember what Truce Vitoretta said in the coach's press conference before the game, the day before the game. You know, what you need also is an element of luck, and you need some shots to fall. When Brose Bamberg advanced by beating Ike, you know, they had Bryce Taylor hit 3 key three-pointers, and he missed all 4 of his threes the other day, but you know, his shot looked good. The ball just did not drop. So sometimes the shots fall, sometimes they don't, and you just have to put it behind you, come out and play the next game.
Well, there's those things, isn't it? You may have dips and everything, but over the course of regular season games and consistency, the shooters are going to come through. He's not having 2 bad games back to back. That's just, he wouldn't have the stats he has if he does. Referees are getting a little love from the director at the moment. These guys are, got to say that they've earned the right to be here because they are. You know, they're going to be rated as some of the best referees in the Basketball Champions League. Obviously, if you're a team from your country is a game you may miss out, so some of the best referees can't be here, but it's an honor for the referees as well.
Yes, it is, and also these referees, international referees, so they've done work in the World Cup qualifiers and will be in China. That'll be FIBA Basketball World Cup will be staged this summer. It's going to be the biggest basketball competition of all time, and I can't wait. And I know that it's been a huge success, the new competition system, bringing basketball back to the fans. And a lot of these players that we've been able to watch in the Basketball Champions League have played for their national teams when the Basketball Champions League and the domestic leagues took their breaks. So it's right now all about trying to get something out of this Final Four for both of these teams, and that's impressive right there. Just seconds away here from the start of the third place game. Not starting Nico Zisas today, the captain, Daniel Schmidt, and you can see maybe there's a niggling injury we don't know about. Maybe he's just looking for something different. Well, good afternoon, folks. If you're just joining us, we are in Antwerp, Belgium, the Sports Palace. It's the third place game. It's underway. It's Bamberg in the light uniforms and in the black. It's Antwerp. Brose Bamberg falling to Virtus, Segafredo Virtus Bologna in their semifinal. Beaten badly in Antwerp after a great start. Fell to the Bearstar Tenerife. And already the pass down low, and the super talented youngster Luis Lindy gets the dunk.
All right, great recognition because they doubled in the low block. The 2 passes just found the open guys. And Rice with a real quick look, good pass.
Well, Here's an alley-oop, and what about that finish from Bacco?
You know, Jeff, and there are sometimes that even at this stage of the season, well-executed plays will give you the shot, but that play is trademark for Antwerp. They've got a lot out of it all season.
Now a layup by Rice. Fresh off his, not even 24 hours removed from hearing he was the MVP of the competition. Okay, there were some really good, talented players battling for that award this year, but you won it. It was richly deserved. Tyrese Rice. Here's Paris Lee, fouled by Schmidt.
Schmidt got caught cheating, really. He knew the screen's coming to like set the high screen. He didn't force him to use the screen, and he just gave him a complete, wide open drive to the hoop, and he had the fouls to get the replay of the alley-oop. And no one puts a body on Bacco on that. And you'd have thought by this stage of the season, that's a play Bamberg should recognize.
Missing with his first three-pointer of the night. Struggled the other day with the three-pointer. Rice gets in no man's land, nowhere to pass, but ends up getting the ball back with 17 seconds on the shot clock. What's the rule? Never leave your feet without somewhere to pass. Well, coming back to live action, Heckman has his shot affected or blocked by Sanders. Now another alley-oop pass! Bacco! Twice already, Bamberg punished by Bacco, who's had good games against this team all season. Melindy, what a soft touch. Boy, what a coming out party for the young man.
Well, if you're a Bamberg fan, Jeff, you're worried again because the defense has been completely absent so far, but offensively they've got some nice rhythm, good execution, wide open looks.
Shot clock down to 4. Lee's got to put it up. He does. Alexander flies in there for the rebound. Rice, oh, beautiful finish, banking it in.
Deja vu, because the screen was there, and the defensive rules don't force the ball to the screen. You've got no way of recovering, no way of organizing defensively, unless you know that's it's a beautiful move.
Sanders. That was about as tough a shot as you're going to make. Plenty of offense so far. Rice again, just drapes down the lane. He's a showman. And Morris calls timeout. So he's going to have to make some type of adjustment defensively.
I'm not surprised at the timeout because this is not Real Morris basketball. Giving up light, the key weight in the way they have with absolutely no protection of drive lanes.
Every one-on-one, can we make a foul? Can we spend the ball and set the tone in a game like this? Or are we gonna let him score at will? Yuri, easy. Tight this side, big this side. Start running, sprint, start running.
There's
as soon as he's
at
on
least
his
what they've been doing right.
Pass to Yuri,
getting the ball inside the Bacco.
That's a first look.
But Jeff, they've given up. Whatever play this is, they're going to be giving up the middle, giving up the lane. And that's the play where the screen came. And because they allowed it to go out, there's no help.
Blind screen.
But you're going to see the tough move by Sanders. As you said in commentary, that's a tough finish. If they played some tough defense, they wouldn't be giving up the lanes. And that's what Morris called the timeout for, as everybody heard. Are they going to make a foul? Are they going to play hard? Are they going to try and protect the ring? Real Morris has set the tone for this team, and this is not what he wants to see. He has two objectives here. One, he wants to win this game. But I'm one of those guys that say you can't turn on and off your defense. If you give it up that easy, you're going to give it up that easy next week. And he's got some huge end-of-season situations. He's got to make a statement with his defense, and that's what they've done all year. also like the fact he's going to let these guys try and sort it out. They've given him the problem. He didn't go to the bench. He's like, hey, challenge you, play some defense.
Kalinowski to Shubin, and that's what he can do, but a little long. Rice steps back. Alexander with the rebound. And now Antwerp dodge a bullet, bring it back. It's been a $1 million move, but a 5-cent finish from Shubin.
Totally intimidated as Alexander came over.
Heckman from the right misses. And now a foul as Alendi had position. Yeah, he's got to convert those chances underneath the basket.
But initially, it was great recognition as we see the finish from above the ring. But moved the ball, got a mismatch because Rice ended up guarding him in the post. Alexander just came over and he saw him and he just, to an extent, bowed out of the shot.
So Hickman now is checked in. Had a tough game on Friday. Alexander. His pass. Let's say the ball goes off of Antwerp. We'll get a look at it here. Tell from that.
And you know what? The official's got a great line of sight on it as well. And it's at the end of the day, they got 2 seconds to get a shot away here. Oh, nice pass.
And as Rice puts one up off the top of the backboard.
I think it's great they've got Hickman in early. You know, as you said, he had a really poor night in the semi-final. It was also very important to him to get him in, try and get him into some rhythm early in the game.
Oh, Heckman just took it right away from Kalinowski. Hickman beats Karras-Lee to the ball, but can't hold on to it. Does a push up and gets up.
Well, the good thing for Hickman was he didn't think about that. You know, he knows he's a shooter. He knows that he's got the green light to take that shot. Regardless of how poorly he shot the ball the other night, just, hey, I'm open, I'm going to let it go.
Sanders from the right. Now Hickman dribbles into the lane, gets blocked.
Well, at least from an Antwerp perspective, they challenged that penetration. They challenged that shot. They forced him to the line as opposed to what they did earlier in the game. Just gave them the open layup. But from Coach Moore's perspective, they are giving up penetration so easily at the moment.
Jesus has checked into the game.
I was just about to say, Jeff, no better place to find your rhythm and your go to the free throw line, get a couple of looks from there, and then Hickman just can't buy anything at the moment. He's got to get something to drop, and then he'll be back and running again.
So he makes one of two. Unwinding the game now. Belgium International number 10 for Antwerp. Also, Deshaun Tate is checked into the game. Here's Harris is in the game. Now another turnover, and it's right into the hands of Hickman. He loses it, but the ball falls kindly to Alendi. Now Harris. His pass almost batted away. Hickman gets it over to Zisas. It's the three! That's what he was known for coming in, his scoring. Here's Tate. Jesus, rather over the years, was known for his scoring, but hasn't been as much here with this Bamberg team, although he's hit some big shots this season, like winning the German Cup.
See, again, Jeff, they recognize that lobe when they switch defensively. They recognize the mismatch. Jason Tate in the post makes, again, a solid baseline move, doesn't finish the play. You know, they're working for that advantage and they're not getting any reward. And we know from the other night, his free throw percentages are not good. And he does struggle to be consistent on the free throw line.
Jason Tate certainly brings a lot to the table, but good free throw shooting is not part of it. It's going to be something he has to work on, get better at. And you do see players work on their free throw shooting and get better. The likes of Felipe Reyes, for example, he used to be a good free throw shooter. Now he's a great free throw shooter.
I mean, Felipe Reyes struggled to make anything outside 4 to 6 feet. Now you have to actually respect him in mid-range. He's every player can never stop getting better. And Jason Tate, start of his professional career, has got plenty of time if he makes that commitment.
Jesus fouled by Paris Lee.
One guy that definitely doesn't struggle with how well he shoots the basketball is Isis on the free throw line. And again, it's the fact that Antwerp is just giving up penetration far too easily throughout this whole quarter.
Akazili comes into the game for 20 for Antwerp, and Jesus, this is his first free throw. He'll go down as one of the greats of Greece. Having been a big member of their Eurobasket winning team in 2005. Of course, playing in that famous team that reached the finals of the World Cup in 2006. Jason Tate, Kalinowski for three, good arc, and brings a little bit of rain.
Needs to do it more, but he did a really nice job trying to be that scorer for Antwerp in the semi-finals. Sometimes I think he passes up too many open looks.
Ruben in the game, going up against Jasinski. Now Hickman still can't buy a basket. Kalinowski pulls up again, same spot. Different result this time, but Akazili gets it back. Now Tate's going to try, and it was deep. Again for three. Still can't get it to go.
No rhythm. It's almost like he's trying to shoot the ball at the moment. Just let it go. Get back to catching it and shooting it in rhythm.
Jasinski too long and goes off the clock. So the offense that we saw early is kind of dried up. Now Dunkor checks into the game. Kalinowski takes a seat.
There's not a lot of perimeter offense in the game at all for Antwerp. In fact, there's not a lot of offense in the game for Antwerp at the moment. Donkor's got to become a real shooting threat.
Harris. Oh, just everything. Bryce Taylor. Jasinski gets it over to Akazili. Passes it back to Hans van Wijn. He gets it to Jasinski. Really both teams struggling from deep at the moment. Pass gets away. Now it's like Akazili, no look pass to Van Wijn. Dunkor inside to Jason Tate.
It's tough to know where Antwerp are where they're looking to score from at the moment.
Well, quick
Unless
pass
they get that.
line.
There you go, a layup will do.
Well, somebody fell asleep.
But the inbounder is always a dangerous person to forget about on a out of bounds.
Almost batted ball there by front line. And a hold has been called.
At the moment, Coach Moores is not going to be a disappointed coach. And you know, I know he's struggling offensively, only 12 points and it's 119 to go, but for whatever reason, normally because players are missing open looks, the offense for Bamberg has dried up again. Nothing in rhythm, too many early threes that just aren't dropping. He's only 4 down.
Hickman. Now Zisis.
Oh.
Drills another shot. Well, that's obviously helped him coming off the bench today. He's hit 2 jump shots. That was a 2.
Yep.
So 50 seconds to go now here in this quarter. And Jasinski rebounded by Tate. And that's better. And the unfortunate thing is he will go to the line.
So you're seeing the good and the bad here at Jason Tate, because again, that energy play, the offensive rebounding, really being aggressive, that's the great stuff. Then he finds himself on the free throw line where he has struggled. And if he could add some consistency from the free throw line, he becomes a really productive member of any team at any level.
Well, that's 1 of 2. And now back to Zisis. He's got the hot hand. Taylor still can't get it to go. He's got a beautiful release, doesn't he?
Yeah, him and Hickman are great shooters. They look like they're great shooters. They're just not making shots at the moment. They've got to shoot your way through that.
With 7 on the shot clock. Now front line, turns, backs up his man. Good move, good follow from Tate.
That's great work because the help came. He was all over the glass.
Right at the buzzer. It would have counted, but he only got the backboard. So nice little recovery for Antwerp. They've been out of sorts, but they only trail 18 to 15 against Brose Bamberg.
Yeah, replay of that last play. Then we go on baseline. You're going to see the help come. And the man who he's jumped off, Jason Tate, gets active on the glass, puts it back, and that's the good stuff that Jason Tate can do. See, he's already in action before the shot goes up, already getting the advantage, does a really good job. He's just got to make his throws. So statistically, Antwerp looking like 56 is 5, and then you go 1 from 8 from the three-point line. Not much better. Bamberg 2 from 8 from the three-point line. So at the end of the day, one of these guys gets going, they're fine, but they just can't make shots. It's a real dilemma. You know, what do they do? If you're going to put Hickman in the game, Bryce Taylor in the game, they're going to have to shoot the ball. So it's just Prego's decision. They're not making it. He's going to have to sit him and find someone else.
Well, it's really interesting. Zisis' first 3-pointer scored since the round of 16. Had 8 misses in between, so he certainly had not had the hot hand. Hickman now has missed all of his last 10 consecutive 3-point attempts since the basketball game.
And that sums up those 2 things you said about the way that Zisis' role has changed, and he's not really primarily the shooter option. But statistically, Hickman going 0 for 10 means he's going to go 1 for 11, surely. It's one of those must-happen moments.
Last time he made one was against Ike in the first leg of the quarterfinals. And interestingly, this is the first time this season that Zisis has started a Basketball Champions League game on the bench. So, again, maybe that was just what he needed.
Yep.
Off the bench. Let's get back in the game now. Tate. Did a great job of finding his space and going up.
That's a super finish, and again, he was moving as the penetration happened, got advantage, nice finish.
Nice to see Paris Lee's parents back in their customary front row seats, wearing their red t-shirts. Here's Hickman now. Just a one-point game. I feel like Bamberg have let an opportunity slip here to kind of get a big lead, and now Hickman with the shot clock violation.
So you have no Zesis or Tyrese Rice on the floor, and they looked a little bit leaderless on that play. No one moved, and you ended up with Hickman with all his experience now. He second-guessed himself, and they're going to turn it over. Chance for Antwerp to lead.
Well, they throw it over, and Tate catches it. It's blocked by the rim, but then goes back up, and he's really come to life with his putbacks and with his shots down low. Already with 8 points. Antwerp back in front. Rubin. Schmidt. Now Taylor, shot clock about to expire. This is the runner. And they're just out of sync. Now Akiasilli over to Tate. He's going to put it up, and he's going to make it. Well, right now, Jayshawn Tate is in his stride, and even Paris Lee's parents like it. And forcing a timeout to be called by Parego. 11 points for Tate. Tate has been great.
You know, Jeff, for me, you're going to hear the timeout, Parego now, but that's just a bad rotation of players. They just look completely leaderless on the floor.
Okay? Watch out now the Brose Bamberg. And then we go like this. We run, fall down, but please, Schmidt with the ball. Schmidt.
So Bamberg, you can see,
Ball to Schmidt.
outscored in this quarter, 7-0. And also Antwerp actually finished strong.
Okay?
The first quarter.
Yeah, they are trying to switch, so you can sleep also. And the is ready to sit. Okay? Then the second play, we go to side. Go to side. Guys, it's so good.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Let's go.
Bamberg on 3, 1, 2, 3.
And what he's tried to do now is put a play on the floor that doesn't need people to make those individual decisions. When he doesn't have Zesis or Tyrese Rice on the floor, down the end of the shot clock, they look completely devoid of how they're going to finish a late clock situation. I mean, again, I do like the stuff where at this stage of the game, he said, well, you guys have messed up. I'm going to give you a chance to actually correct it before I go to the rotation. You know, you can do it at this stage. Hickman's more than experienced enough to run this team.
Here he comes, drives in, blocked, but fouled. So he'll have another chance to go to the line and try to get into his rhythm. I like that move by Hickman. Be aggressive.
Yep.
Put your struggles behind you. And it is. I mean, he's a scorer. He's an out-and-out scorer. He just has to keep doing what he does.
And he'll have that type of advantage where players look at him and say he's going to shoot it, so he will have the chance to penetrate. He just looks completely out of rhythm with his jump shot. You know, he misses the first of the free throws again. I mean, he's a great free throw shooter.
Second one is good from Hickman. And now Akiasilli pushes it up the floor quickly. Smith did a good job of getting back on defense. Now into Tate, over to Donkor at the line. And Budzinski, I think, is called for a foul. Hickman came into this game going back, if you look at the replay there, we're going back to Hickman and his free throw shooting. Came in shooting 83%.
Yeah, over 83%. He's at 50 on this game, right?
Yeah, so.
I mean, he's a scorer, Jeff. You summed it up. He's a scorer. You know, he's scored his whole career.
The pass down low and the foul on Tate.
And you got to say, Prego's timeout. We're going to run. We're going to try and isolate. We're going to try and attack it. Keep it simple. He's had 2 possessions since. They've gone and attacked the hoop both times. Found themselves on the free throw line. At least they're being the aggressor. You know, they've stopped that problem. They've actually found ways to get production.
Now Rubin misses a free throw. He came in shooting 81.8%. Had made 81 of 99. So this has not been a customary normal display from Bamberg by any stretch of the imagination at this Final Four. Offensively, defensively, you name it. Searching for something. Antwerp with a 2-point lead, and now Van Wijn puts it up from deep and rattles out. Thought that was in.
He doesn't shoot a soft ball, does he? It comes down very hard.
Quick pass down low to Harris. Puts it up. And ties it up. Now Dunkor. Kalinowski and Pearsley getting ready to check back in the game. Stuckey getting ready to come in for Bamberg. Now, Jasinski turns, puts it up. Doesn't get the shooter's roll. And I think Hickman is called for over the back.
Yeah, Tate is just a handful on the glass. If you don't box him out early to stop him moving, he just doesn't stop working on the glass. And it was a big time second effort that Hickman had to foul to stop.
That was good awareness at that end by Harris. And that was the unlucky finish for Van Wijn. And you can see Pearsley trying to will it in. Moses checks into the game as well. Kalinowski for 3. Rubin with the follow. Well, that's one of the better moves we've seen from him in this entire Final Four. And it puts Bamberg back in front.
Yeah, if your offense is struggling like his has, you can always do what Tate's doing. Work hard on the glass. Get some putbacks going. Get to the ring.
Van Wijn gets to the lane. Hands it off to Kingsley Moses. Oh, Moses follows up his miss. Misses again. This time Tate goes up and takes it back outside, but Moses has to be able to finish that. Tate, another 3. Go! I'll tell you, it's hard to explain, Mark, how a guy can struggle from the free throw line as Tate does and then shoot the 3. But the good thing is he's confident enough to take the shot.
The one thing he definitely is confident. Oh, he's a little unlucky with that one.
Here he is reaching in. Oh, yeah, you got him.
Yeah.
Good call. I was always taught that you're supposed to come up rather than come down.
Absolutely supposed to come up. So even if you knock the ball down, the offensive player has a chance to recover it.
So he hits this 3 to put Antwerp back in front, but by picking up the foul, he has to go to the bench. Bako back in the game. So a pretty big front line when you consider Van Wijn's out there along with Moses and Bako. Now Kingsley Moses battling with the Lindy.
And it's very good from Antwerp. They've got an advantage, as you said, they've got the big front line, just picking the right person to try and post up low. Great transition, great spacing. They looked the high-low option. Lindy had to foul, otherwise it was worst. It's going to be a 2-point shot. At best, it'd have been a big, strong finish that the crowd would have been ignited about. It's a long time as well to be in the bonus. Now that's the fourth foul.
Moses, just 24 years of age, misses.
Got to question that, Jeff.
He was taking them in the warm-ups,
I
but
know, it's one of those, there are better three-point shooters. There's plenty of time on the possession. There's a reason he's open at that early in the set.
Lucky loses it, not able to save it from Wine. Takes it all the way. And Wine takes it back to a three-point lead, and the Antwerp fans are loving it. Well, we'll go down and listen to what the coaches have to say.
Even if it's a bad pass, because they're jumping into players. Next play without calling. Schmidt, okay, there is here. Luis, Cliff, Mo. Bob, Seal, hands down. Like hands down.
Is he coming into the game? I know Jason Tate's done a good job, but I'd have had that stat the other way around. You know, more points on the inside
we play chill.
for Bamberg.
Guys,
second chance points, most of those are Jason Tate's efforts. And it's an area that obviously Moores has had to focus on, because in the two regular season games, they really did dominate on the inside. They really did dominate in terms of points in the paint in those two regular season games. They dominated by being aggressive and going to the free throw line. And you can see the adjustment he's made, and he's being rewarded now. Three-point lead, he's getting his defense working, but he is going down low when they switch, and that's how he's getting his offensive advantage.
You know, Kingsley Mosley, we're getting a good look at him. He was a big-time player in college.
Yeah.
In Arkansas. Averaged almost a double-double as a junior, more than 15 points and more than 9 rebounds, almost 16 points in fact. So certainly a player who has a big future. And you almost wonder maybe if he has a chance to play for Nigeria at the World Cup this summer.
And he's had some injury issues, which is half the reason some of his time has been limited.
Alexander can't quite control it. He was such a pivotal player in that series win over Ike, for the quarterfinal win. He had flashes of brilliance on Friday against Virtus, but nowhere near as impactful as they needed him to be. Now Pearsley open, so he's going to take it. Van Wijn gets the rebound. Now that's Alexander at his best, getting the block. And Moses has to be able to go up and dunk that.
You've got to go through that contact. Absolutely go through that contact.
Schmidt. Well, third ever Basketball Champions League Final Four. This is the third place game. Moses shows us some promise with the three. That's why it was taking a mark.
Yeah. And that's a decision that Bamberg have made to offer him it. Well, he's 1 for 2.
Stuckey drives in. Oh, what a finish. That was tough. And Moses takes it to the promised land.
It's definitely there.
I was waiting for you, Mark. We were talking about it. Where was it?
Where was it? Where was it? No, didn't see the cue. Didn't see the cue.
The wraparound. Olindi. And Moses quickly becoming the X factor in this game, gets the rebound. Now Van Wijn gets the pick. Gives it to Baco. Baco says, I'm the man that made the team of the season, but he misses. Good D from Alexander, but a foul called. And they go to help up Moses.
It's a bit of an example of how strong Alexander is. He helped up everybody at the same time. He's a real presence around the ring, as Moses found out. But Moses is, You mentioned it. He's shown us he can play in, he can step out.
Now it's going up against Lindy. He says, I'm going to take this over. Just did not finish. Well, he's not that far off, to be honest.
Oh, he's right. You're right.
Rice over to Lindy. Open. And he misses, and the shooting struggles continue for Bamberg. I think Jesus may not be quite right. That's why he hasn't come back into the game. That's something I can think of. Here's Kalinowski. Takes the contact, and will go to the line for a potential three-point play.
Well, we get a replay. You watch this second step and how strong he is. That step there takes all the contact. Still has enough control of his body to get the shot up with a soft touch. This step here really goes hard. Generates contact, finishes the play, and makes the throw. Dangerous here for Antwerp. They've got no timeouts to take in this first half. Any timeouts left. They could really get an advantage here, Antwerp. Get a stop here and they're into double-digit territory.
Rice gets the shot blocked. Van Wijn looks up the court, dribbles it himself. Now he gets position, and he is fouled, I think, from behind by Alexander.
Super execution, though. Change the passing angle. He gets the mismatch again because they switch. And he's in the low block guarded by Tyrese Rice, as we're going to see the block by Bacco. How long is Bacco? You can see what attributes he brings. And then he waits, draws contact. Alexander's all over him with his left arm. And then Wynn's got to step to the free throw line, make the throws. And you can see in the background, Coach Moore's living every play, which he's done with his team all year. He's out there playing mentally.
Van Wijn, really interesting. Had a chance to speak to him last year, and he was telling me how he had a growth spurt when he was younger, and just kind of came out of nowhere. Obviously, as that happens, and it really enhanced his prospects of playing basketball. He was in his early teens. Free throw struggles continue for both teams, really. He's actually showing us more today, though, Van Wijn.
Yeah. He's playing more aggressively today as much as anything else. And it doesn't matter which, apart from Tyrese Rice, who's making more than he's not. No one's coming off this Bamberg bench and able to knock the shot down apart from he's sitting for whatever reason.
Now lead Bacco! Fouled by Heckman, and really we're seeing why Bacco was voted as the center of the year in the Basketball Champions League, being very aggressive.
The Heckman's so late on the help. He's the man who's supposed to be where the ball is, and he's on the wrong side, and there you see the foul. And we said this about Bamberg in the semi-final. Their defensive effort is just a step off where it should be. A team that likes to score, likes to get into the 80s score-wise, if their offense isn't working, they've struggled in these two games.
Did you get a chance to watch Bacco play for Belgium?
Only
in the World Cup qualifier?
I didn't cover Belgium in the World Cup qualifier. I saw him playing the under-20 Europeans, where you can see he was a project in the process. And you've got to give a lot of credit to coaches who spend time developing him, because these big guys that take a little bit more time to develop, and now they're seeing the reward for the work they've put in.
Well, Kalinowski loses it out of bounds. Final 16 seconds ticking off the clock of what has been a very good second quarter for this home team, Antwerp. Rice over to Heckman, wide open. Alexander battles for the board, and Paris Lee launches it and hits the backboard, but it is looking good here for Telenet Giants Antwerp. They lead it 37-26 at the break.
these stats, Bamberg have just got steadily worse. 2 from 12 now from the three-point line. Still not pretty for Antwerp at 25%. But they're doing a great job on the glass. Assist is always a telling number for me. 11 to 5 on the assist. They're sharing the ball really well. They get a lot of mismatches down low that they're exploiting.
Rice with just 6 points. That's key.
You had a great second quarter. What do you put that down to?
Just my teammates, finding me. And, just doing my work early on the offensive glass. That's my role on the team, to bring energy and effort, and I've been sticking to it. Thank you.
That's a great statement. Great statement by him. You're going to see this as he's just going to work around the ring. Exactly what he talked about, his energy, being found and finishing plays.
A disappointing first half. What do you guys have to do for the second half?
Yeah, it was a disappointing half. I think we started well in the first quarter, kind of lost our energy. I think we got to go out there, with 100% energy, crash the boards, don't let him get offensive rebounds, and I think we're going to be good in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, here we have it, folks. It's an 11-point lead at halftime for Antwerp. Tate with those 14 points, 6 rebounds. Kalinowski has hit a couple of threes. Van Wijn has been lively. And Bamberg just searching for something. They are not showing us their best basketball at this Basketball Champions League Final Four. They know it, we know it, their fans know it, and maybe they're just saving it for the second half. Nico Zisas did hit a couple of shots. That was one of the promising developments, but he didn't play that much. So a lot of work for this Bamberg team to do. In fact, Zisas only played 4 minutes, 55 seconds.
And there has to be a reason for 4 minutes, 55 seconds, whether it's injury or whether it's a decision to save him for the second half. That's not a decision a coach would take lightly in this level of game.
Well, Bacco has certainly lived up to his reputation as well. At halftime, he's only got 5 points, but he's had some rim-rocking dunks and taken up a lot of space in there. And really, the interesting development for me has been the contributions of Van Wijn with the 5 points and the 3 rebounds and the steal, and also Kingsley Moses with 5 points and the 3 rebounds. And obviously, Jason Tate went from having some struggles at the free throw line to taking the game over for Antwerp. And all of this aided by the fact that Bamberg just can't put the ball in the basket.
And they're not missing tough shots, they're missing open shots. So it's not as if you can make an offensive adjustment, say run this, run that. They're getting open looks, they're just not finishing them. And they're allowing Bacco to be a factor. Bacco, I think it was his 25th block in that game. That means he's joint top blocker of shots in the Champions League this season. And then he's up around the ring throwing shots down. And they're allowing that to happen because they're just not making plays. They're just not making open shots. And it's not one, it's everybody.
Well, the 14 points that Tate has scored today, already the most for him in a playoff game this season. His previous high was 13 against the Beerstar Tenerife, and also Ukan Murcia. Bacco has now blocked 25 shots in the Basketball Champions League this season. So that's impressive work from him.
And you can see why people have voted for him as the leading center, and he has numbers like that. And he also fits this team. He fits this team really well. They don't run a lot of post-up stuff for him. They run a lot of post-up stuff when there's mismatches, and they do a great job getting it inside. But let's go right back to the beginning of the game, Jeff. Raul Morris takes his early timeout, talks about his defensive effort, corrects the problem early, and from that point on, his team played like they've played all year. And that's why he's the coach of the year, because he's not afraid to make those decisions and tell people the facts are live about how they're playing.
Well, we'll let you watch the remainder of the highlights, and we'll be right back before the start of the second half. It's 37-26. Telenet Giants Antwerp on top of Brose Bamberg at halftime.
Coach, it was a great first half by your team. What will be the key for the second half?
I think we need to bring the same. We had a couple of tough first minutes, but then I think we get some stops, we control the rebounds, and we create finally some rhythm in offense.
The team seemed to be reacting to the atmosphere in the stadium. Do you think that's driving them on?
I think these guys, with what they showed this year, they deserve a game like this, and they deserve to show their real faces.
Thank you. Disappointing first half. What do your team need to do in the second half?
We started, I believe, pretty much good, and we are fighting with these rims since Friday. So we need to knock down some open shot, and for the rest, we had some troubles in defense, but it's tough when you don't score and to keep staying here.
Is it quite hard to motivate the team for the third place game? Has it been quite hard to motivate the team for the third place game?
Oh, we know we want to play. We want to play this game like if it's another game. Of course, we would prefer to play the other one, but we're here to play.
(37-26). Telenet Giants Antwerp on top of Brose Bamberg, and giving their fans a real charge here with that performance. Mark, they had their struggles early, but Bamberg didn't really shift into that higher gear to build on that early lead that they had, and then Jason Tate got going. And the next thing you know, the second quarter was owned by Telenet Giants Antwerp.
Well, they outworked them, didn't they? It's the same problem they had against Bologna. They got outworked at that end of the floor. If you're a Bamberg fan, you're sitting there going, we can't shoot this badly again. Obviously, they're going to start to drop, as Coach said in his halftime interview. But you start at the defensive end. You get that intensity going at the defensive end, then your offense will start to click. You'll get that rhythm offensively. At the moment, they just seem to be trying to shoot their way out of this slump without doing the work at the defensive end. I've got no problems with them switching, but if they switch, they have to pressure the ball and they have to front that post to look for help. And they're just not completing that. There's always there's a missing component to the defense. The help is late, the ball pressure is not intense enough. And to me, you've got to execute, and that's what Antwerp have done. Antwerp have actually executed with the advantage to get the high percentage shots. It's up to Bamberg to pick the defense up. The other thing I love is that interview with Jason Tate at halftime. My job is to bring energy. My job is to work around the ring. My job is to do... And all he's talking about is thanking his teammates and working hard for his teammates. Jeff, I think there's an absolute must here that they must, Pieces must have an injury issue. Not starting the second half, hardly played in the first half. It looks like they're going to have to get back and win this without him.
Well, second half underway. Tyrese Rice in the game with Harris, Heckman, Rubin. And Rubin fouled by Schuppanen. Boy, Schuppanen was not going to let him get that shot off. He grabbed him with both hands.
But like he literally grabbed him. And whereas there's no basketball action on grabbing his shirt, I thought there was the instruction if that sort of foul was made, that's supposed to be an unsportsmanlike foul. There is absolutely no attempt to play the basketball in that moment. Hand for the shirt. I'm struggling with that.
Rice drives in and fouled again. Rice, if he can get it going, that'll change things dramatically for Bamberg. Although he got it going the other day and it didn't matter against Virtus. They've got to get somebody to put the ball in the basket. He comes up and makes a couple of free throws.
They need a Jason Tate equivalent, someone who's just going to bring some energy to the team, work on the glass, trying to ignite some, start some momentum in that way.
Kalinowski spins. Gets in the lane, puts up, did the hard work and then missed the layup. And another miss.
There's one of the differences between the two teams. In that situation, in the second quarter, Antwerp got down, got spaced, and pushed it inside early, taking the ball free. And I know it's Tyrese Rice, but not the best decision.
Sanders, little floater, but missed everything. Now Rice, slowed by Kalinowski, Hickman, and Blanco. Those big balls go up there and bring the ball down. Schuppanen, he misses. Both teams just can't throw the ball in the ocean right now.
Yep.
Harris, tough move by him. And now it's a 7-point game.
And I still think with Harris and Alexander being strong, powering into the low post would be a really effective option, especially in transition. They're just not emphasizing it early enough and often enough.
Harris Lee. He overshoots it badly as well. Reaches in and commits the foul, so Antwerp kind of inviting Bamberg back into the game with their inability to make plays on offense. And that was the foul, the grab by Paris Lee. Into Harris and at his feet. Now Antwerp once again. Kalinowski this time misses everything. What a bounce pass on. Sweet move. And the finish wasn't there, but Rubin was there for the putback.
Well, again, that's the first example, one of the first examples of the game of them outworking Antwerp. 4 guys down the floor, all on the glass. Not dropping for you. One of the ways to keep getting going is to outwork your opponent. And that's just a poor foul by Beckler. He just had no reason to get involved with reaching in.
Here it is again. Oh yeah, he got him on the arm.
And there's no reason. They already stopped the penetration. They had him backed up.
Kalinowski for three. That's what he does, folks. The Cincinnati Kid.
Always on that step in. Gets the pass, steps in, lets it go.
Harris rims out. Sanders feeds to Baco. Kalinowski, this time off the front of the rim, had a hand in the face by Heckman.
Yeah, much better job. Heckman really contested. Closeout was much quicker, and then can turn it over.
Almost like this Bamberg team has arrived a little tired or something.
Ricky Hickman's just has had 2 games. He's just not going to want to remember. You know, for a player of his quality, that sort of turnover just, well, doesn't happen.
Baco backing up his man. Good help defense. Now Rice, big court. Cuts into the paint. Slick pass to Harris. Takes it back out. Guarded by Sanders and then takes it in. Chopinin able to get the ball to Baco. Chopin takes it right down the lane. And another timeout called by Bamberg. Both teams just really kind of trying to grind out a result right now. Bamberg certainly had their chances to get closer, and now once again they face the 10-point deficit.
It's going to be interesting this timeout.
What we are doing wrong is that we are trying to go in solo. We are going solo. One time is one, one time is the other. Like this doesn't work on offense. We need to play together. Being aggressive but play together. Create advantage and use it. We have a team on both sides. On both sides. Play together. Like we are doing here at half-court. Play together also there.
And Coach Prego is absolutely right. I think
let's run till the end with the selfie around. Let's go, guys.
I was going to say that their defensive effort was better. The play the time before where Heckman came over and doubled the post quickly, but not only that, Harris dropped and they came up with a steal. That's a really great sign. They come down here and they don't do a great job, and Tyrese Rice spends the next 5 seconds talking about was there a foul, wasn't there a foul, while Chopin's going down the middle and laying it up. And he's absolutely right down here. It's very much one-on-one or one-on-two. They're going solo, as he says. They've got to share the basketball. Still only got 6 assists compared to the 13 assists. Sharing the ball to each other does not seem to be on the agenda for Bamberg at the moment.
Rice, bounce pass. Ball went out of bounds.
Great rotation by Sanders. Saw the play develop and was already on the move to take the roller. Did a great job.
Kuczynski. Long rebound, bounces over the head of Kalinowski and into the hands of Hickman. Swinging it, Rice feet set. Off the back of the iron, good box out by Chopinin. Nope, they're saying that he fouled.
Held down, held him on his shoulder. So I think it's a good call. Yeah, the officials get some great... The thing that impresses me about the officials at this level is they make the calls easy for themselves by moving to get into the right line of sight. And Moores, as I would, as any coach would want to have a word about it, but I think if you see a replay, I mean, Chopin did have his arm on the arm over the shoulder.
Harris. Good job defensively by Kuczynski, not giving an inch.
Harris still took the poor shot. If you haven't got a good one, kick it.
Now Sanders pulls up, nails it to 3.
Well, that's a great sign. He is always that next scorer. If he starts to score, things are looking good for Antwerp.
Harris gets it down low.
Early transition basket where they were spaced and they shared it. Great angle on the pick.
The ball goes in and out. Rubin. Ball went in and out for him as well. I think the basketball gods just don't want these guys to score today. Now a foul called over there on the sidelines on Rice, but here's a look at it.
You see a different angle.
And now I think the technical has been called as well on Tyrese Rice for complaining.
I think he feels he was literally tripped. I think that's what he's saying.
Looking at the league MVP, the Basketball Champions League MVP of the season, Tyrese Rice voicing his disapproval. And, you know, Kubika's going to check into the game now. Get a chance to see him, bright young talent from Lithuania. But Rice is able to talk, but you know, you have to do it in the right way.
Yep.
And Kalinowski takes advantage by making the free throw. Here it is again.
You know, he did trip, but he tripped over. It wasn't like there was any intent by stepping out wider and getting his space. There was no call to make. But Rice will feel he was tripped because he can't see that replay.
Sanders again. Go! You're right. He sees one of them go down. He starts to get hot, and all of a sudden, Antwerp are up 15 points. Hickman quickly answers.
Well, Bamberg are in that place again. Are they going to play enough defense, get enough stops to get themselves a chance to get back?
Sanders blocked by Rubin. On one, almost coming up with a steal, but Hickman gets it, and for the second consecutive time goes in. This time misses the drive. But Rubin has done a good job on the offensive glass in this quarter and gets another trip to the free throw line. Here's Sanders nailing his second three-pointer. Rubin's just not on his game at this Final Four. Lindy's going to come back into the game for Rubin, and Schmidt is coming in for Rice. So still no Nico Zisa since that first 4:55.
Can't see him playing, Joe. There must be a reason. You're down this many. If he was going to play, he'd be back in the game by now.
Sanders has Alexander a long way from the basket. And now Schmidt called for a foul, impeding the progress of Tate. Offensive foul, wow.
He just put his hand, you see the replay, put his hands all over him. Tried to hold his space as opposed to seal off down low. See his holder move his palm of the hand, he's holding the vest.
Way too obvious.
And I'm like, well, you're holding the vest, you pull in a shirt. Why are you doing that?
Kubika into Alexander, Lindy, the rebound. Kubica, that's what he does. Maybe he'll bring a spark. Already drafted in the NBA by the Hornets.
Another effort play. They're coming up with effort plays now, Bamberg, for the first time. It's a good sign. There's no quick way to get back in the game. You've got to come up by working your way back in. If you're going to come up with steals if you play off the ball. Reaching on the ball for a big guy is just a foul waiting to happen. And Alexander again just reaches. Van Wynn's going to the middle now. In the penalty, Van Wyn goes to the free throw line.
So Hans van Wijn at the line and makes the first. Look good on that rotation. Long way to go in this one. Fans know it. But second no good for Van Wijn. He's got to guard Kubica outside because he can shoot it anywhere. Dumps it to Alexander, who just loses it, not for the first time. Akazili goes in and charges.
Yeah.
He's got to pull up.
Out of control, wasn't it?
Yeah. So missed opportunities here for this Antwerp team.
Now the thing the crowd are getting uptight about is that Schmidt being down with his arm after the charge of being committed. It's pretty hard to get your arm up straight when someone's going straight into your, your mid-trip. Took good stance, took the contact. Big play after the steal the other way.
Pressure there as they got it across midcourt. Now it's Tate guarding Schmidt. They switch. Stuckey. Alexander over to Schmidt. Now Kubica, that's where they want him, and that's why he can hit it.
Super ball movement. Fill the double team in the post, get it out, make the extra pass, shoot it wide open. Great job.
Is that one of the great mysteries that he didn't play in the semifinal?
Well, coming in, he comes off the bench, effort played in a three.
Van Wijn gets in and is fouled by Schmidt. So Van Wijn being aggressive at this end once again, and Schmidt a little too late. Here's Kubica though, this is his reputation. We saw him play in Egypt for Lithuania at the under-19 championship back in 2017. He was the young player of the year in the Basketball Champions League last season when he was on the books of Cabo d'Orlando in Italy. Van Wijn makes the first, making an impact on this game.
He must love playing against Bamberg. Second game, he led all scorers, all efficiency rating players for Bamberg in the second regular season game. And obviously when you took someone positively, they let you down by missing the free throw.
Kubica again. Looks for his spot. Tries to pass it to Alexander, who wasn't aware the ball was even coming. Final seconds ticking off in the third quarter. Tate goes up with the left hand. And that's how the quarter finishes. 51-42, 10 minutes remaining. It's Telenet Giants, Antwerp with the lead.
Wow. Offensively, the problem's there for everybody to see. 3 from 16, and they've got guys on that floor who shoot great percentages across the season. And that's really the difference it's one of those simple statements. Antwerp have just made more shots. good sign for Bamberg is they played with greater effort and greater purpose at the defensive end. They shared the ball really well. So there's a way back. If only Ricky Hickman could make a shot. If only someone except for Kublika now could make a shot, they'll be fine. There's more than enough time for them to work their way back in. 9 points with their firepower. They're the most prolific team in the Basketball Champions League in fourth quarter scoring. So all the statistics tell you they've got a real chance there.
Well, the next game will be between Segafredo versus Bologna in the final. And they will be taking on Iberostar Tenerife. Segafredo versus Bologna beat Brose Bamberg in the first semifinal. And of course, Iberostar Tenerife won their second semifinal against Antwerp despite trailing early. And Tenerife were the champions back in the first season of the Basketball Champions League, and then last season it was Ike, so that would be just a great moment. It was really interesting to hear how Chus Peteretta said how the Basketball Champions League has really helped his club. And there's Patrick Cominos, the CEO of the Basketball Champions League, and obviously has done a lot of hard work and graft and wonderful job. And I know that he's very excited to have this Final Four here in Antwerp, which is not only putting on a great show, but what a great city we've discovered this is.
It's a marvelous city, great people, Jeff.
Kaczynski gets it back after being blocked. Yasili, pump fake. Oh, what a move! That might just be one of the plays of the game right there. Kublika again.
He's right. He got hit after the shot as well. What a release, though. He releases the ball so quickly, so high. Smooth release. So right, and why didn't he play when their offense was struggling the other night? Question on the press conference after, maybe.
Yeah. Why did you wait this late to get Kublika into the game? Tate, he's going to have to go. He's going to put it up. Front and back of the rim, and the man of the moment, Kublika, gets the rebound. It's very interesting to see also, Van Wijn just takes it away. He's going to go up and just lay it up and in. Well, that was a big turnover. I was just singing his praises, and he turned it over.
Yeah, we should stop saying good things about him. So,
just wondering if we're going to see him at the World Cup with Lithuania. Well, this evidence he can help them. That's obviously a very tough team to make. 6 steals for Antwerp. Just 2 for Bamberg. Roel Moors, the coach, was trying to talk to the players while he had a second. He told, that's the second foul, Kaczynski. He told Van Wijn to get over there to talk to him. And Van Wijn just said, yeah, I hear you. He was too tired. Needed to take a breather. Ducky going to work. The hustle from Van Wijn. Now Kublika again. This time misses Alexander. Couldn't quite get the ball. Looked like he was in position. Tate spins, hands it off to Kaczynski. He had Kublika on his backside.
they really are struggling when they don't, when everybody doesn't rotate. They rotate to the first penetration and then no one helped him. And I thought they'd solved that because up until then, they'd done a great job of helping each other and helping the helper. Back to where they were in the first half on that play.
Rice complaining that he was held. Now to Kaczynski again. Getting the ball in good positions. Scoring some layups. Now it's a 14-point lead, 7 minutes remaining.
Done a great job all game recognizing the mismatch. And again, Rice played no defense.
Akasili trying to guard Rice. Rice hands it off to Alindi. And Rice just keeps looking over at the ref saying, man, he's playing me too tight. You got to blow the whistle. It's just good defense.
It is.
Pass to the corner, Akasili, good! He's making a big impact in this game on both ends of the floor.
Same thing again, the second helper doesn't get there quick enough. They get a wide open look. This isn't a hard thing for Bamberg to resolve. They just have to work harder in their rotations.
Stuckey misses, and Van Wijn with the ball, and Morris says, just slow it down a little bit. Akasili again, he feels it! And he gets the fist pump from his coach. And a timeout by Borrego, whose team is being beaten badly now for the second game in a row. The Basketball Champions League Final Four. Look at this stadium, look at this crowd, Sports Palace, and listen to the coach.
Okay? On offense, and down, and side, no, but move the ball, move the ball. Now we have Organ the five, also top side sometimes, okay? Let's go, keep playing, guys, keep playing.
There's certain stats always tell you stories. 7 more shots on the game for Antwerp. They've just outworked their opponent on the glass. They've outworked their opponent in generating steals. And then they've done a much better job at sharing the ball. And then if you keep taking good shots, they will drop, and that's what's happened to him in the last couple of hours. Zilli with the 2 threes back-to-back. But don't forget, they came off of consecutive stops at the defensive end to get points in transition. And it's been the biggest problem Brose Bamberg have had in both games. Their defense has just not been at the level as a team to force and get anything off it. It's not so much that they can't stop, they just don't get anything off their defense to get points going the other way.
Boy, what a spark he's provided Akasili here in the second half. Both teams going deep to the bench. Now he's getting a rest, what's richly deserved. Paris Lee back in. Hopefully going to deliver the knockout punch for Antwerp. Van Wijn lift up the floor. Now Tate thinks he can win this battle. Going to go up against Stuckey. Bubaka doesn't help and just backs him up and scores.
It's a great decision. He didn't rush, backs him in, got the angle, finished the play. Again, no help. There's no way you can guard him one-on-one in the post. Where was the help? Didn't come.
Bounce pass to Rubin. And, you know, again, you would have thought Antwerp had a good chance to win this game today, but by 20 on Brose Bamberg at the Final Four. I mean, Brose Bamberg just out of sorts. I've never seen anything like it.
And when you're out of sorts, the only thing you can guarantee is if you work hard defensively, you can be out of sorts as much as you want, but you can run your defensive rules and run them as hard as you can. And they have not done that in either game.
There were a lot of people that thought they would come in and win this Final Four.
Yeah.
The way they dispatched Ike. Tate gets a standing ovation. Kingsley Moses comes back in. Lee. And Alindi with the rebound. But the clock is the enemy now with 4.5 minutes. Stuckey is, well, it's awfully tough now for Bamberg. Now, the foul call on Rubin.
Right in front of us, watch this. He never stands still, moves again.
That is the play, a foul. So many players struggle with setting that, don't they? Setting the pick.
Because the defense really makes it hard because they try and go over the top. You think, I've got to move again, and that's once they move again, they're in foul land.
Well, Van Wijn tried to get it up quickly over Kubica, and Kubica again. Goes in and is fouled, so he gets a couple of free throws. He looks a lot stronger to me than he did last season, and obviously the 2 years ago. I'm just really wondering why he didn't get any minutes at all in the semifinal, because he can certainly do one thing, and that's score.
As we said, especially because Hickman was having problems in that game, the perimeter game, apart from Rice, was having problems, and he didn't go to him. I mean,
why have him on your team if you're not going to go to him? And he's a huge talent. There's no doubt about it.
Especially in those circumstances. What do you have to lose? The guys out there can't make it. Gives you a little bit more size defensively as well.
I mean, since coming into the game, scored 10 points. So, you know, anyway. Pass over the head of Baco. I mean, a coach looks a lot of other things, you well know, so he knows his players better than we do, so who are we to judge? But anyway, on this evidence, it looks like things are going well for Kubica.
It's definitely a question. It's definitely a question that needs to be asked.
Pass to Stuckey, goes up with the left hand. Nice finish by him. Kubica's played 10 minutes and he's got 10 points. He leads the team in scoring, in fact. Lee takes the bump.
Great job during the contact, Jeff. Great job. He just took everybody and then just bumped and said, you're going to foul me because you're not playing defense. Smith never in stance, always on the move. Any contact was going to have to be defensive. And Lee just made sure he got the contact he needed.
He makes the first one.
Well, would you have thought, Jeff, that Paris Lee, with the season he had, they're winning by 17 points? That's his first point of the game.
He gets it back.
His third point of the game.
And that kind of game for Bamberg. They are putting the finishing touches on what can only be described as an impressive win. Antwerp. You wanted to leave at least with a win today in front of your home crowd, and that's what they're giving them. Olindi. Good. I'd say probably one of the bright spots for Bamberg has been Olindi at this Final Four. Remember, it's their first season in the Basketball Champions League, Bamberg.
Yeah, they haven't solved that problem with the switch on that post-up. Minute 1 to the end of the game. They just haven't decided how they're going to play it. And then they get some foul situations. Or even worse, they're giving up easy points.
Baco hands it off to Lee. Kingsley Moses. Jumper from Rubin. Since we know he's got that in his arsenal, we just haven't seen it.
You can run that comment past a lot of these Bamberg guys. They've all got the things in their eye. You've seen their stats.
Oh, and almost another dunk, but Moses gets it, and he goes up for the flush. He takes it to the promised land. it is definitely a party in here now as Antwerp, the fans realize they got the victory. They're closing in on it. So Paris Lee gets a lot of love as he exits the game from his coach and the fans. Some interesting numbers to reel off here as Moses fouls Lindy. Kubik has already scored more points today than in any of his last 8 appearances for Brose Bamberg in the Basketball Champions League. Akiasili's 8 points, his new best in the Basketball Champions League. So he was definitely an X factor today. Stuckey. And talking about Lindy, he's now scored 10+ points in 2 of his 15 appearances in the competition this season. So he's had a good game offensively anyway. Kubik with the rebound. Kubik over to Stuckey. Kingsley Moses backs it out. And the final seconds ticking off the clock here. Front line call for the foul. Look at that. Kalinowski gets the embrace. Bako. And, you know, that Coach of the Year award for Moore's, I'm sure, that was richly deserved. Nobody saw this coming. This Antwerp team make it to the Final Four. So to finish 3rd, it's quite an accomplishment for a team that had to go through the qualifiers.
Well, and they had to be a tough team in Camp 2 in the last qualifying game from Italy. There's no guarantee they were going to get here. Then they're in the toughest regular season group. No guarantee they'll get out of that. Found a way to compete, got better throughout the season, and this is the only way they deserve to finish the season. With a win in front of an arena like this, in front of the home fans, it's going to be a great buzz for them going forward. You hope they're going to maximize the impact of this.
Akiasili, Kingsley Moses, and he's just going to take it out. And here they are, folks. You're looking at the Telenet Giants Antwerp, the 3rd place game winners at the Basketball Champions League Final Four. 72-58. The Giants win it.
Jeff, you said it in the commentary about the problems that Bamberg were having. They've come and played 2 games of basketball, and they've only scored 108 points across 2 games. This is a team that's averaging 80+ points a game in the season, and we can talk about it being like a little out of sorts. We can talk about all sorts of things like that. One, you've got to give some huge credit to the defensive effort and the immediate changes that Coach Moore made, but this team just did not play at the level we expect Bamberg to play, but the other 2 teams that beat them had to deliver. And Antwerp today shared the ball so well, got contributions off everybody, but kept a high-scoring team to 58 points. That's a great. And go back to minute 2 when Moore scored the timeout. They had 16 points by then, Bamberg, and he just shut it down with 1 timeout. And then you have a team that's come up with 18 assists. They've done a great job on the glass. They've come up with steals, only turned the ball over 6 times. It's just a complete performance by a team that has the chance to use this to build some momentum going forward. These guys here are going to love it. Look at Tate, 16 and 7. And all he said he does is, my teammates give me the ball and I just work for everybody. You know, what a great performance by him. Kalinowski, love the way he shoots the ball. A high-scoring person on the Bamberg team running 12 points tells you everything you need to know.
Coming off the bench.
Antwerp had a great second half. What do you put that down to?
We just came the same intensity we did before we went in. Started sharing the ball, and it was all on the defensive end.
You top scored for your team. What was it? How did you approach the game?
The same way I always do, giving it 100%. Of course, we want to play for the championship, but you know, we're going home with something better than nothing.
Tell us a little bit about the atmosphere in the stadium.
Oh yeah, Antwerp did their thing, man. I didn't know that it was going to turn out like this, but I want to thank the fans for supporting us through this year, and we still got more work to do in the Belgian league.
Well, great performance by Tate. He had 14 of those 16 points in the first half.
A disappointing end result. What are your views on the game?
What can I say? I think we just didn't show up the whole weekend. 2 games, we didn't play the right way, and we got to figure it out. And then we have important German League playoffs in front of us, and yeah, we got to show up there. We're trying to win another title, and yeah, nothing else to say.
Thank you.
Jeff, without getting too critical about stuff, you can't come and say we didn't show up.
No, you're right. And by the way, we're still with you because the referees and the players are going to be receiving their honors and medals.
And now, ladies and
Third
gentlemen,
place.
to present the awards for the team classified at the 4th position, please welcome
And
Stefan
also-
Heitz, CEO of German
Well,
Basketball League and member of the
It didn't
BCL
go like they
board.
wanted, Brose Bamberg, but
Also
anyway, they'll be recognized here by playing at the Final
member
Four.
of the BCL board. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the team classified at the 4th position of the Basketball Champions League 2018-2019 season. Make some noise for Brose Bamberg!
So he's Nico Zizis has been on a lot of winning teams and some losing teams. He's been there. He knows you got to be professional, come out and be gracious. And if Alindi knows it, everybody knows it. They just didn't show up.
They've had a great season. They came out that tough group as well. They got the MVP. They've got guys that have done a good job week in, week out. They've got guys who've won big games, knocking out like the defending champions. I just don't understand we didn't show up in the defensive end.
You know, I think if the Final Four had been staged the week after the quarterfinals, maybe that momentum, they could have carried it over. They seem to have, in the interim, lost their mojo, or maybe they were a little bit tired. You just never know. You know, seasons become long, and that's one of the challenges. But when it's a Final Four, you know, you got to dig deep. And I'm sure they'll learn from this. Heck, Bamberg has won a lot of titles in their career, so and the club. So fans will be disappointed. They came here in force.
Yep. And as you said, you know, they've won the German Cup. They just mentioned again they got the German playoffs. There's a load to play for, and you would hope that they come out and say, "Hey, what was wrong? We're not going to let that happen again." Right, that's the mayor of Antwerp, Jeff. He has a lot to be proud about in terms of the way this city has responded to staging this event.
Yeah, we touched on it. It's quite an amazing city, really. I mean, I don't think it gets the attention that it deserves. I had never been here before this, and I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to be coming back. You and I both enjoyed ourselves. Here's David Jasinski, Hans van Wijn, Dunbar, Kalinowski, Tate. Also, Trevor Thompson, Akiasili, who scored the most points today that he had scored in the Champions League game. There's Lee, Saunders, Moses, Kingsley Moses, Chopin had some good moments, and Mako, and of course, Roel Moors, coach. And we never talk about the assistants, but those guys work hard as well. Christophe Began, you remember him, the former Belgium International Center, and Thomas Crabb. So all in all, I think it's better to get out of here on the back of a win, that's for sure.
Well, the other guy that really needs, along with Coach Moore, the general manager and staff, who put together this team. It's a hard ask on limited budgets to go out and do a hard graft and find players, and they've done a great job of recruiting the team.
There you see those medals representing the winners of the third place game being presented to Baco, who was named the center of the year. And his performance today certainly suggested that he had a really good, didn't score a lot like he usually does, but he still made an impact. And now they're celebrating in mid-court. And that'll be a picture, no doubt, that's going to be in the newspaper tomorrow. And you would imagine the club will get that thing framed pretty quickly and put it on the wall.
And there are great signs from going forward, because we mentioned Moses has hardly played this year for various reasons and injuries and whatever else. And look how much he brought to the game. If they can retain him and retain one or two of his other guys, they're going to be back. They're going to be back, and they've had a taste. They're going to want it again. I'd say, Jeff, the other thing is any team can be Antwerp. Coming through qualifiers, you start the Basketball Champions League. So with all those clubs, that's what this competition gives you, the chance to get in as because you qualified to, then get there as of right, and then get all the way and contest championship and Final Fours. It's the competition gives teams like Antwerp a real opportunity.
That's Paris Lee's parents. Came over from America to watch this, see their son. They're proud. What is the feeling of a parent watching their kid play professional basketball like that? Must never get old.
No, you never ever get old. Absolutely never get old.
So we look back at some of the highlights, and again, it was there were moments, especially early on in this game, that Bamberg had a lead, and they weren't really able to step on the accelerator, or they didn't step on the accelerator. And eventually, Antwerp came back, got on top, led by Jason Tate. And then Kalinowski came out and played very well. And then the energy seemed to be contagious. I guess Dilly came off the bench and did well. Sanders started hitting a couple of shots. Even Kingsley Moses was a big contributor today. Chopin, and so
one across the roster. Tremendous the way they stepped up, but I'll go right back to that first time out though, Jeff, when they hadn't played a stitch of defense for the first 3 minutes of the game, and Coach Moore's just reminded them who they were. And that's all he had to do, and he reminded them who they were, and then they put the performance in. When Bamberg were challenged in the same way, didn't get the response, and that's what the "we didn't show up" relates to, because Coach Brego challenged them in exactly the same way, and they just did not perform, did not make the change, did not put the effort in at the defensive end to give themselves the chance to be the third place team.
So as we watch the final here and highlights, Akiasili, that was an amazing drive. And again, he had his best ever scoring performance today. And you would imagine he'd have an opportunity to continue to develop here. Comes back. It'll be interesting to see who ends up sticking around with this team, because these guys have raised eyebrows. Of course, certainly we had some interesting conversations with the fans last night, where his place is among the Belgian coaches. And certainly a feather in his cap to be named the Basketball Champions League Coach of the Year.
And we talk about are they going to be able to hold on to players? Well, Coach Morse has enhanced his reputation. He is a legend in this neck of the woods, because as a player that you mentioned in the semi-final game. His shirt hangs there in the corner, retiring his shirt.
Well, there you see it, 72 to 58, and then following this one will be the final, which tips off at 6 p.m. Central European time, up between Segafredo versus Bologna.